let's get the approval for the previous Community Engagement Committee meeting minutes. So who's going to do that?
So should we read them out first, I guess?
Oh, gosh. Was I supposed to print
Here.
them? I sent them a while ago.
Come here, sit here.
No,
I want you to
Oh, we
sit
don't. We
here.
have to be.
I wasn't at that meeting, so I won't.
I will second that.
Okay. All right.
All in
But
favor?
everyone got them. Like that's,
Yeah, yeah,
okay,
definitely
that's
got
the
'em.
most
Yep.
important thing.
All in favor? Oh, sorry. Here you go.
You can, oh, you do, great.
Oh, I know. I was just so Keith could have his own.
Yeah, which do you have a
Thank you, Paul.
preference?
So do we need to go over the meeting, the minutes?
No, I don't think so, unless anybody had any, I guess, follow-up items, issues, concerns from the minutes. I think it was
If I
pretty
can just
straightforward.
have whoever wrote them, to send me the final version
Oh,
so that I
if they're
can post on the
agendas.
website after they've been approved. Yeah.
I think that was you, right? Okay.
So no one had
Can
changes?
somebody second that?
I did, I thought, yeah.
All right, then we'll move on to the committee forum to discuss planning status for additional events this year.
Do you want to start with Avalon and then I'll hit the ice skating thing?
Mhm.
Catch you at just the right time, mouthful of cookie.
First of the year. so.
Well, before you start, great work on all that.
Yeah. Thanks for the
On-
research.
Oh.
Lots of good suggestions.
Yeah.
I will tell you, it is like pulling teeth to get someone to talk to you over there. Did you,
Mm.
you had the same experience?
Well, I was lucky. I just was walking to Magruder's and then I said I'll walk in and the person was there.
Oh, my God.
So it was
It's
just
a
a
week-
lucky break. And
It's
then
like a
he
week
explained it
between
all and
emails.
then he followed up with an email with the info.
Okay, so it's no more, I don't think it's any additional info, but what I did ask him, so he gave me that list of dates. And then from that, we had kind of narrowed it to a few, and those dates are still available. So we can basically just pick our date. Somebody had said we should do it at least a month out, so that first date I think I mentioned may not work.
I thought the 24th probably
April
worked pretty well.
24th?
Yeah.
Is that one, let me just make sure, let me go find his.
What day of the
email.
week was it again? Tuesday? or Wednesday?
I think,
That's a Thursday.
And it's also after
they'll let
the
you do
spring
Thursday, that's
break for Montgomery County, so, yeah, so if people were away.
let me find it.
I do remember the
Avalon.
24th.
It was one of the
I
dates.
put together a Slido poll for everybody. Nobody filled it out, thanks.
Slido sounds too intimidating.
I don't remember.
I
seeing
think I
that.
responded just to her on what day,
Uh-huh.
rather than doing the
That's
poll.
okay. I thought I was gonna make it easy for everybody. Just pick a day.
Okay, yesterday, so this must be my, okay, as of today, both Tuesday, April 8th and Thursday, April 24th are still available for rental, because I specifically asked about the two, which is what I had narrowed it to, but then, you're right, of the original dates on the list, we are still good except for March 17, 18, and 20. So we decided we don't want March anyway. Okay, so we do have others inquiring about rentals, but nothing has gone to contract. Okay.
Thursday, the
24th. And did we settle on the small theater versus the large one? It's probably the small theater.
I didn't settle on anything as far as that goes, but I don't think we're gonna get more than 130 people.
Yeah, the small theater was 133. I think that's
Okay.
great. And if it's a raging success and we run out of space and we'll know better next year, right? So
True. All right, so let me write myself a note. So we're gonna do Thursday, the 24th of April.
Is there a big difference between the,
Yeah, what's the difference
The-
in
the
price again
price of the
between the
theaters.
two?
Hold on one second. Thursday,
So the one-
24th. I should just write, because
the
it's a
small
lot
theater
easier
was
to write. Let me just
133
write.
people. The big theater was almost 400.
oh.
And so it was 2x the cost. or whatever.
But it also is like, do you want a quarter full theater?
Right, it's probably better when you're packed together.
Exactly, in terms of feeling like, oh, this is a success.
And what was the time of the event?
Well, that was really up to us. There were certain times, like the best time would involve kind of taking it for both of their showings, which we may not want to do because it was more expensive. Let me go back now to that.
So the one that ended, it was 5 to 7:45, 5:30 to whatever, but it ended at 7:45 and there was a hard stop, like not 1 minute past that because they
Right.
had another thing. And then there was
Here it
one that
is.
ended at 9.
Okay, so the one that's 133 seats, it's Avalon 2, 5:30 to 7:45, very hard 7:45 end time. You must be free and clear of the auditorium at 7:45. That one's $600. So that's not that expensive. Then 8, if we wanted to do 8 to 10:45, it's $850. 6:30 to 9:30 is $1250. So what time?
I think if you have people who are coming from downtown, and increasingly people are coming from downtown, you're more likely to get them to come for a later time than the 5:30 time.
Yeah.
5:30
Right.
is just too
Yeah.
So
early.
5:30 to 7:45 is not gonna work.
And I
Okay,
think we shouldn't go too late. People aren't going to be in the
Right.
mood to do a 10 o'clock or 10:30 movie.
If
So
we
I
can
think
afford
And
the
if we-
6:30.
the 6:30.
If we can afford it.
6:30 to
What's the most
9:30 is
expensive?
$1250. And do we want to do 6:30 arrival time, 7 o'clock movie time?
I guess it depends on
Or
when
what we're gonna
how
do.
long the movie is. So if it's a,
Right.
But
Oh,
also,
and we have to
weren't
see if we
gonna
can
do
get the
some
movie.
social,
Okay.
weren't we talking about
Oh,
maybe
yes,
doing
we were.
popcorn and people
Before the
mingling a
movie even.
little?
so
Maybe having name
the
tag,
budget,
something.
the budget we got approved also included $12 a head for concessions. And I know movie
That's a lot.
concessions is like, that's a Coke, right?
Well, that's wow. Per
Um,
person, so my husband and I could just share one, and then other people can take more of the money, right? It's not $12
I
a
think it's
person.
fine.
It'll
And-
be a certain
It's
amount for
fine.
all of us, so
and it
not
was
everybody. will take
For
it.
133 people show up, so we're not gonna
Right.
get 133
Right.
people, so I think we're
Okay.
fine.
But you want to leave a little bit of time for that.
Right. And then
So-
the movie choice, we all are liking Desperately Seeking Susan. I think it's a
It's a
great
fun
idea. I just
movie.
want to make sure it's not so old that people are like, what?
It's 1985, that's not old.
I,
And that was the whole point, we were gonna. do it to
100%, I'm
coincide with,
in. I just want to make sure, like, I know, I was excited. It was
Well, there
Jasmine.
are other choices too.
No,
so,
no,
I
it's,
mean,
I think it's a great
I think-
choice. And it's, Madonna's still relevant, or I don't know, maybe not.
And even if you're young, if we're,
Pushing
if
the
we're,
baseball.
Right.
and if you're including teens even, like, I feel
Are
like
we?
it's like, oh, this is a classic. I
So
wanna
are
go
we
see it.
including teams?
I don't know, we didn't talk about that. You had raised it at one point, we never kind of figured out which events. to put
Oh.
them.
I mean, it was kind of like, based on the
65?
time and in the middle of the week, it was kind of intended to be an adult, but I
Adults, yeah.
don't think we're limiting it to that, right?
Right.
If you have a teenager that is allowed to stay up until 9:30 or whatever, bring them along.
So specifically
can
say it
decide
as
on a
teenager,
date.
not necessarily younger than that.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Teenagers
Yeah,
welcome.
and what's the movie,
Teenager.
what's the movie rated, actually? That'll decide.
Was it?
I think so.
Gosh, I don't remember that.
Well, rules were probably different. in
Yeah.
1980.
Yeah.
And
It's tame,
Yeah.
tame
I
art.
think it was my husband who pointed out I have to stop calling it adult movie night. I have to call it grown-up movie night, because when you say adult, they think of porn.
Oh, that didn't even occur to me. but-
It's an adult movie versus
Pretending.
grown-up.
Might get more.
So, yeah, that's how my husband thinks. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
our
don't know what
rating
to
in
say about that.
1985 was like open mouth kissing.
I know, but-
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean,
I don't remember it being anything at all.
So-
Are you looking it
Can
up?
you really
I,
remember?
I can, yeah.
Oh,
Actually,
look
I'm sorry, it's PG-13. So there you go.
Perfect.
I think we should invite everybody. To be honest.
13 plus.
so 13 plus, right?
How many people, roughly speaking, do you think we get at like the summer movie nights that we do outside in the park?
Like 30, maybe?
The first one, we got a ton.
Yeah, we have got, yeah, for the adult movies, we get more. When we do the kid movies, we barely get anybody.
So
There'll
that-
be a couple kids running around playing soccer and that's
that's
it.
my beef with
Yeah.
when we pick the movie title. When you pick a kid movie, these kids have seen all of these movies 100 times, even that summer. Like, because everywhere there's movie nights, but adults don't go to movie, all that often. So I feel like you need
Yeah,
to
the adult
gear it-
movies get a much larger attendance,
More
but
than
it's still, no way.
No, not more than.
You're not gonna get
So let's
130.
be welcoming. Let's invite anybody who wants to come and,
Yeah.
it's a PG-13 movie, so.
Okay, so not just teenagers welcome, just
13 plus.
anyone who wants to come, note that the movie is rated PG-13. Let them make that decision. Okay,
But I do
They
think
let
we,
them in if
with-
they're under 13?
if you're under
adult.
13
Oh,
with an
with
adult, right?
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
and I do agree, I think we should show up. We should build in 30 minutes prior for socialization and people having a
Getting
glass of
started.
wine or some popcorn or whatever. And I got your email about how to pay for that stuff. And
Right.
if I show up, I can put my credit card down and then.
That would
we
work
can
fine. Just save the receipt and then I can write you a check.
I will
That's fine.
say that half an hour is tight
Yeah.
based on Avalon's serving speed.
I agree with you.
Oh,
And people might show up right on
Let me
time.
see,
One
does-
person
How
will-
long
7:15
is that
start
movie?
time?
If
Yeah,
you're
I'm looking it up
planning
right
to
now.
I have it
offer
right now.
popcorn,
Susan.
Do we
if you
even-
can get them to have popcorn made ahead of time.
It's
that
an
might
hour and
really be
44 minutes,
helpful.
so.
That's not that bad. That's actually a short movie.
So.
So if we started at even 7:30,
So it's a 3-hour window here
Right.
that we have, so this should be fine. At
6:30 social time, 7:15 movie time. And then
Uh,
if we're running late, we're running late.
6:30 and 7:15.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then what, that takes us to 8:15. What was it?
it's an hour and 44 minutes.
8:15. So
seven-
9. It basically takes us to 9, and then you can mingle for another half an hour.
Yeah, or walk back.
That's actually
together or
perfect.
whatever.
Yeah.
So,
We don't encourage people to walk.
6:30
And meet somewhere common to walk
7:15.
9
together.
o'clock.
social
And-
time,
Never liked that.
movie, okay.
And
So great to
Yeah,
have that
that's great.
sidewalk.
9 to 9:30 social.
There is
time.
a question of whether you want to tell people of what time the movie actually starts, or you want to tell them what time the event starts.
Just the
because
event. I think you're right, because otherwise they'll just come.
People,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
they'll time it to show up
And you can
exactly when the
say,
movie
yeah, you
starts.
can say that
Who
there's.
doesn't want free
refreshments.
popcorn? Come on, show up early.
Popcorn only available before.
That's a good idea. We'll just say the event starts at 6:30.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
And
6:30,
then-
9:30. And are we sure we can license this movie? Like, I haven't looked into that part yet. Nobody.
They,
knows.
no, they, what they told me at the Avalon is you tell them and they'll tell you whether we can license it.
Oh, so we better do that. Let's have a
Well,
backup
it
movie in
was
case
on
we
that-
can.
it was
It
on
was
that.
on the list?
I'm pretty sure it was on that PDF thing, but
Okay.
They
um,
said they gave a PDF.
yeah, they
They
gave you a
did.
PDF
Oh,
of
okay.
all the movies that were
That's true,
easy
but I
for them to
didn't.
get. So,
Glad
yeah,
you-
so
Okay.
tomorrow, I guess we'll try to lock that down with them and let us
License.
know right away if you could, if that movie's for some reason not available.
Okay, should we
So,
just have a second one
Well,
just in case?
electronically, if that movie doesn't work out, we can
Okay.
just.
I'll put out another
I
poll.
didn't like, I didn't. One is a British movie, so my husband was like, isn't this a Martin's Edition celebration? You could, it's a great movie.
Which movie?
Which one?
The, My Beautiful Laundrette was the other one.
Oh, yeah, I loved that movie, but I don't think I've seen it.
But it's
It
what,
was just to mix up.
No,
the
no.
Propositions.
Yeah.
but I don't know why he felt like a British movie didn't come with the celebrations of Martin's Edition.
Because it's so proper and
It's not a proper movie at all.
British humor is like an acquired
And it's
taste.
hard to understand. It is hard to. understand.
You mentioned
We do have Scottish. like-
Return to the Future. Did you mean Back to the Future? You wrote Return to the Future. And I was like, I think she means Back to the
I
Future.
thought maybe
That-
they'd done a sequel to that.
Exactly,
Future,
Return
you
to
know,
Back to the
From the future and you need to go back? Is that
Yeah.
what you're
What's Back to
saying?
the Future? I don't remember that.
It's, oh my God,
Back
it's
to the Future, you haven't seen it?
I
Well,
might
that
have-
was the
Michael
one
J.
that,
Fox.
um,
It was the very first movie that
Oh
we
my
chose for the
God.
very
and
first
then
movie
we had
night.
to leave,
And
though,
then we had to leave
of
because
the
it was lightning.
Was that
So we didn't
1985?
get our all the way through,
Okay.
but we had a
So
huge
maybe we
showing.
could Show
It's
it.
a
because
great, it's a
it's
great
not what
movie.
we-
It's a
I mean,
great
I-
movie.
it's
I've seen it
fantastic
100
movie.
times now, whereas I
Yeah.
haven't seen it. But that could be one of the summer movie nights if we have to go. But Back to the Future, everybody was so excited about it. We had a huge showing and then we had to leave.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we
This
could
is
try
a
again.
perfect 40-year celebration.
It kind of
I'm fine
is,
with that.
since it's the same year.
Desperately Seeking Susan. If for
And
some
then
reason
Back to
that
the
doesn't
Future.
work, ask about Back to the Future.
Okay.
And we'll,
And then there was
Back
another
up.
one where you were like, oh yeah, Out of Africa
Oh, just because it
will
like
have
a
a
good
lot,
movie.
I think it will have a big appeal in.
is that an Eddie Murphy?
No.
No, it's not a comedy.
Oh.
I thought it was a
Meryl
Streep.
Meryl Streep in accents.
Beautiful movie.
But it was
really
great.
long.
It's long, yeah.
Oh.
It's like
Almost
over 3
3
hours.
hours.
Yeah, it's long.
Yeah, I
Like
love that
long
movie.
It was
Right.
one of her
Oh.
original like accent movies where she
I
really
think I
got
was
famous
so wrapped
for
up
doing
in
accents.
I think it's a favorite.
I loved it. I loved it.
So I know it well. And the
So maybe
sound.
not Out of
I
Africa.
Yeah.
I know, I know.
Let's start, let's start with these two.
Alright.
and if
I'm
that's
sure Back to the
problem-
Future would work.
And if that's
so-
problematic, then we can chat about it online and.
I've read up.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I like Out of Africa.
because I
Yeah.
like the.
It would be
I
beautiful on a
originally
big
said
screen.
Amadeus,
I'm
and
not
that wasn't
sure. I
available.
started
Is
looking
that what
this
it
up
was?
last time. I don't just remember.
That was one of my. That was my
But I
original
get to
idea.
research after the
But
last
there was a
movie,
reason
and
why
it
we
gets
said no.
Oscars.
I don't
for- think
remember.
for Best
I feel like someone said it
Actress
wasn't
and
available.
too.
Because it was.
I thought you said it wasn't available because you checked with the
Yeah.
guy.
Oh, maybe that's.
Yeah,
yeah.
There
That
we
was
go.
your email.
Thank you
Yeah.
for
I
remembering.
think one of those is.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, they
One of
weren't,
those
they're
two.
not all available. Okay, so I have my information to go
Okay.
forward. We will hone in on the date Thursday, April 24th.
Can we back
I know,
into-
let me check my calendar now and see if I can even.
We
come.
need to back into the experiences as a view, who's like printing a flyer, getting the.
Do I have to do the flyer? I
No,
am
no,
terrible
no,
at
no.
that.
We just have to
Oh.
agree on who's gonna do it, and then we
Okay.
gotta get the street captains.
I'll be
figuring it
happy
out
to do
and
the
all that.
flyer. I like doing this.
Oh, you do?
Cause it's around the corner.
Oh, good, I'm free.
Right. So you do the flyer.
And if you can get me something before the end of the month, then I can get it in the newsletter. So
Yes.
that has the largest readership, and then
Yeah.
we can put out standalone emails, and we can put out,
Put on
you
the
know, in the
listserv,
wrap up.
and then the,
Yeah.
Someone can put it in the listserv
I'll do that.
and
Yeah.
someone.
Well,
Yeah, we should
anyway.
do kind of like
what are the 12 of us on the list?
weekly reminders, basically the month of April, just to remind people that it's.
But when is it good to do a flyer? Like 2 weeks before or?
We can do the flyer that's normally done, and then
No,
we'll
we
just
usually
do.
do the door-to-door one. with-
Oh, I
Oh,
have
door-
the newsletter.
Usually
that's
If we
on
can
there.
do a paper flyer 2 weeks before, I think it'll be good for those who aren't looking at their
Okay,
email.
So we should put that on
Because
the
they can
list.
be on their fridge.
Yeah,
wherever,
I
you
usually,
know.
I know that's how I find out about things.
All right.
So 2
Maybe-
weeks before is.
Paper flyers, but yeah, what's that?
Yeah, I would say give the street captains enough time to come by and pick it up, like during work hours this week or
3
something.
weeks before.
At least, yeah. Well, no, not for,
So
that's fine.
you want the flyer on the
6:30.
4th of April,
Sounds great.
Friday, or
Is that the
sometime
tour?
over the weekend. You
That's
want it
fine,
over the
that's fine,
weekend. Okay.
So in that, you want to mention the free popcorn and drink?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the flyer, what else do we want to say? Indoor movie night. Avalon indoor movie night, I don't know, what else? It's feeling that way, if rain or shine,
Nice, like join your neighbors, come
Yeah,
together.
rain or
For a
shine.
new event hosted by the.
And hopefully we'll move this eventually to closer to the winter, so there's a reason for, like, April, you're like, I want to be outside.
Well, I'm
but-
hoping people will walk, so maybe that's just me.
That's true.
So I
That's a
was
really good
hoping
point.
we could do something like, you want to walk with your neighbors, here are 2 meeting points.
That's a great idea, actually.
I always walk to that one. I mean, it's easier for, I'm with,
And if people have someone to walk with, it's,
Okay. All right, so awesome. Thank you for doing that. The second event that we have agreed to do of the three is the ice skating event. And so we had initially thought about doing that the first week of June to
Yeah.
mix with school getting out and holidays and all that stuff. So I'm kind of having the same experience that you have. I actually went to the ice skating rink to try to meet somebody and to see the rinks and see like
Yeah.
what the deal was. They have 3 rinks for rent, a tiny one that's like the size of this table, so that's not working. And then they have
Rink did you go to?
Cabin
Cabin
John?
John. And then they have 2 large rinks, one Olympic size and one NHL size, both of which won't work for us.
yeah,
So I'm trying to coordinate a party room and the rink. But the problem is they don't schedule that far in advance. So they have to wait until it's like the 3rd week of March, which we're almost there to
Okay.
like see what that schedule is. So more to follow, but as soon as I lock that down or have a couple of days, I'll reach back out and we'll try to finalize
Okay.
that. But same Roundup show. We got some money set aside for concessions, but they have a concession stand there. So again, one of us put our credit card down within reason,
yeah,
and go from there.
okay. And they will include skate rental.
They don't include rental skates, but they include admission and the rink. I think the skates are like $4 a person.
Oh, okay, so we'll just pay for that too.
Yeah.
Great, I think this is great, and that is for all ages,
Oh,
so, yeah.
But it doesn't, so usually rinks are hard because of hockey and all the other practices, but that's just not happening in June. June
That-
is easier.
No, I mean, when I went in there, all the rinks were full. Both large rinks were split in half and they had like school teams using each half to like practice and stuff like that. So I don't know how bad it is. The thing is they just don't schedule out like more than, I think, 6 or 8 weeks in advance, which is why I have to wait until next
So
week.
it's a June event. What do we want for that? Do we want it to be a weekend? Do we want it to be a weeknight? Weekend in June?
We tried to settle on June 1st, which was a Sunday, I think.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And it's not Labor Day, Memorial Day weekend, so that's good.
So,
June 1st, I'm gonna put that on my
our
calendar.
run of show, or our proposals were a Saturday, Sunday, so either June 1st which is a Sunday, or June 7th. The further into June we get, the more difficult it becomes, just because of schools and stuff, but we'll see what's available.
Yeah.
But if they don't
I
have
like
a
June
weekend,
1st.
do we want to consider an evening?
They should
I
have a
think-
You
weekend.
think that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the rinks, like, it may be a night event or a morning event, right? If
Oh,
we
it could be a
can't,
morning. Yeah, that's true. A Sunday morning.
yeah. So,
All
okay,
right.
more to follow.
Was there another event we were trying to add?
Wine.
The wine
Oh,
tasting,
right, right, right.
later this
We have a lot.
year.
We thought a lot.
Technically, that event will be after, we should well, I guess the question is, should we plan it for the next CEC committee just to follow through with, or?
At least get the basics. And
Well,
then
we
if
could
they
be-
want to do it, they can do it. If they don't want to do it, they
Or we
can.
could be ambitious and just do it in September.
We can all join the committee again.
Yay.
That's probably it is the way.
Because the new committee, whoever, and maybe all of you,
Yeah.
will want to be able to
Right.
take charge of the event rather
Is
than
this
have
a
it
1 year
handed
thing or
off,
a 2
right?
year thing? We signed up for
I
a
mean, I
1 year.
guess this year,
Yeah.
you can make a recommendation to next year's
Yeah.
committee or something
Right.
and say,
Rather
But we
than
should do the
having it all
groundwork
set
for
up.
it.
If
Yeah.
there's a
When's the ideal
reservation
time?
to make, it would be good to make it before, like if there's a reservation. And then I think one of the recommendations we had for the committee at the beginning of the year was to try and have it come together earlier, because this year we came together so close to the Halloween event, there was no time. It was just this mad scramble. So.
yeah, I mean, that's one of my goals is to get all the committees up and going right away. It's always, herding cats trying to get, 25 volunteers for all the different committees.
Of course.
I know.
Getting all of you to sign your paperwork. So,
Training.
and then the training and.
But when did we decide that we had like gaps of events?
It was in November. Let me pull it
November.
up. Yeah, I think, let me pull up my calendar.
That makes sense. October's
Stuff
kind of
here.
kids event, family event.
VMA.
September's just busy.
And we have a
So-
movie night.
Oh, that's right. And it's Labor Day weekend.
Yeah,
That's
so
usually the
September movie
Sunday
night,
night of
October
Labor Day
movie
weekend.
night.
Do we need to plan that now? I mean, not now, but like,
No, what we need to do now next is talk about 2 months from now
that's it.
for the
May
celebration on the sidewalk. That's a big deal.
And that's
a
the
big
election.
draw.
So when are people installed into their new roles? In
The
May or
next
June?
year's committee,
Yeah,
this committee ends June 30th.
June 30th. So the
And-
June event,
And then
which is
July
now
1,
ice
we
skating, will
could
plan.
theoretically call for volunteers.
Okay,
Yeah.
so anything in July. So the first thing that they'll have is movie night in August.
So sometimes the committee's not even
Or
set up by
September.
then, so it's really just been the office and Keith, because he lives right there,
Yeah.
pulling that off.
I
So,
think we had our first meeting and then, I mean, it was a while.
Okay.
Okay, so I will ping, it's a school in Friendship Heights that does this, a wine tasting thing, and try to find some dates in November. So they do on-site, you can go there, and then they do virtual as well, which will probably get a large take up because it's easier to sit at home and drink wine than go somewhere else. But I'll try to get some details around that for sometime in November. We'll try to get it as far away from Thanksgiving as possible, so maybe like early November or something.
Did we talk about, I think we even, did we?
I mean, keep in mind that you have the Halloween event, which is right at the end of
Oh,
October.
that's right.
So to at least have a couple of weeks. I know it's really tight. November's just a difficult month.
Yeah, maybe. Do we want to think
Paul,
that? 'Cause
would you chime in here on what you think?
November, Thanksgiving is the 27th, so there is a little more time this year.
the Halloween party would be on the 26th of October this year.
Oh, so that's 4 weeks between,
Yeah.
Actually, that's
So
more than
second-
4 weeks.
let's try
1,
to
2, 3.
Second week of November.
Oh, no, it's 3.5 weeks between the two events, between Thanksgiving and Halloween. So we'll have this event 2
Bang
weeks
smack in the middle.
somewhere, yeah.
So the week of November 9th would be your recommendation to next year's committee.
And it's a drinking event, that'll be like a Friday evening or a Saturday evening, maybe a Sunday evening, but.
I do my drinking on Wednesdays, so I don't know about you guys.
Good
but-
point.
No, but
So
you're
that
probably
could be a
right. It's probably a
Tuesday.
Friday or Saturday night kind of thing.
So 8th or 9th.
I think this one would be really nice to include staff in, just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice,
Yeah.
yeah.
I want to
Wait,
drink
don't-
wine with you all.
Don't we include you in all of them?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
I was joking, I was joking.
Okay.
We can have a group virtual tasting right here at the table.
And you're
That's what
welcome
we
to
should
do.
do.
Some people
Welcome,
can come to
great
the
food
office
for
to
me.
do their tasting. That's a good idea.
They may be able to do mocktails. No.
Boring.
So bring kids, meaning bring.
No, I
kids.
meant for
No.
like people like me.
There is
Oh,
definitely, age,
okay.
so I remember at the
'cause I
school,
don't
you can't
drink
take anybody
alcohol.
under the age
You
of
don't drink
21.
alcohol?
I can drink cocktails, but I get migraines from wine,
Oh,
unfortunately.
do you really?
And
Interesting.
you don't drink alcohol,
I don't drink any alcohol.
so
This is what I drink right here.
we could see if they
Yeah.
have, I've never
Look at
tasted
that.
a non-alcoholic wine. I don't know if they
So-
have-
But you
It
can,
does exist.
yeah.
I know, but I
They
also
have
don't have
that.
to be at every event. Not everybody has to be. at
Well, you can go and not
Yeah.
drink.
So should we,
Does
because
grape juice do the
this
same
event
thing
is
to you?
quite far away, should we try and focus on the May event?
Yeah, so I think we've satisfied agenda item number 3 for the new events. Agenda item number 4 is already planned for this year. So let's see, we just had the brunch, talk about the movie. May
Brunch is
is
great.
the election sidewalk
We don't
event.
get to relevant. at
Yes.
all.
Is that right?
Yes, and I can,
What's that schedule?
I can give an update for everyone on this.
Okay.
So
We should talk about logistics and whatever. Can we talk about the old events?
It's not on the agenda, but it was, I like going over what went well.
What went well and what didn't go
All
well?
right, Barbara, you wanted to, before we do that, then let's talk about what we did last Sunday.
Exactly.
That's what we're
Sunday
talking
thought
about,
it
yeah.
was-
I thought it went great. I thought it was a really nice event. The food was really good. It was very well organized.
Yeah, Katie, you did an especially good job when you took over there.
The speakers were really nice.
I
Yeah.
never heard, I didn't see any of that. I had to watch it on the
I know.
replay on the video.
Oh, okay.
I never saw any of that. I was out there still meeting and greeting.
Well, that was really nice of Montgomery Municipal Cable. That was a fast turnaround and I thought that was really
Oh, that
nice
was
how you,
Montgomery Municipal
um,
Cable?
yeah.
Wow.
That
And that
felt
was
like
nice how
it's
you
a
put
big
that in the
time.
weekly wrap up. Yeah.
Oh, they did it on like local television, is that what it was?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's on,
so-
it's on their channel and they have,
Oh, I had no idea.
they did a highlight, which is like a 2-minute, quick thing
Yeah.
with a little bit from each speaker kind of thing. And then they also
An
did,
abridged version.
and they, yeah.
The full program.
And if you want to watch the whole thing, you're more than welcome
It's
to.
39 minutes long.
Knock
What are they?
yourself out.
It was really that one.
It was long.
But they did an abridged one? Is that gonna be in the newsletter? That would be fun.
It was in the wrap up and it's on the website and
It's on
Okay,
the
great. I'll have to
website,
take a
yeah.
look.
You guys did an amazing
Yeah, they
job,
did a
really. I
great, they
think
did a great job the way they had, you had it in the newsletter though, where people
Yeah.
could get it, right? Where they
And then
could
play
hit
it.
the button
I
and
haven't looked
get the
at it.
video of that. That was,
Yeah, you did a very nice, I mean,
Yeah.
it was a really fun event.
It really
and
was.
Thank you, Keith, for being there. and
well, what
great.
about you? What about you?
Oh, I
Paul,
was just.
and
enjoying the
David,
event, but-
And the girls here, I mean, come on, I didn't do anything really. I
We just
missed
spent the whole time
I
meeting,
missed the
reading,
whole
which is a lot of
thing.
work. And he wore a tie.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize
I didn't recognize
that.
Everyone here
That was
was
a
in
pretty tough thing
attendance,
for me to
right?
do. I didn't
Everyone-
want to ruin my
I
image.
saw you. I actually did I see you?
Yeah.
I did, okay.
Everyone-
I
We
went
waved.
by, you did too.
I think that just in terms of things that also worked, I thought having the upstairs, even though a lot of people didn't sit there,
Use it,
it
yeah.
was nice to have a little extra space.
Mhm.
So just if we're thinking about next,
Mhm.
always, but
Having the food in the other room was.
Really worked too.
I guess I missed the year before, but
Mm.
so I just saw it this year. It was so amazing.
That worked well.
Way better.
Yeah, the flow worked.
Yeah, 2 years ago, we tried to make that like a kid's playroom and it didn't work. It was chaotic and messy and then the main space is too small to house 200 people anyways,
And-
so.
But Michael juggled. You did your
I
job.
did juggle the year
He's
before,
juggling it,
yeah.
yeah.
And I like having, I know this was a 40th anniversary, but I think having someone say a little something, even if it weren't a 40th
Mhm,
anniversary,
yeah.
just kind of pulls us all together. And I love the magnets. Whose idea was that?
Michael,
There's extra
I
magnets.
had
and
one on my
stickers.
cars.
Yeah.
I have them on my
Good.
car too,
Mine
yeah.
didn't stick to my car. I
No.
didn't thought it was a magnet, a
Yeah.
car
It is a
magnet. It
You can get a
didn't stick.
sticker if you want as
Yeah.
well.
Uh,
So,
Put those on your
um,
computer.
Mm.
part of the postmortem, because there was a lot there was a lot of success, a lot of wins. Was there anything that we thought needed improvement for? Clearly, there was a 40-year event, and that's not gonna happen all the time, but the brunch itself,
Right, doing this every
Yeah.
year in a smaller scale, I
Yeah.
guess. I thought it was, I have no.
well,
I love the
surprisingly, David and the rest of you, I think there were more people at the last 2 years than there was this year.
Oh,
We were
Oh, I thought it was
frankly, I was disappointed.
Oh,
I couldn't even find a seat. What are you talking about? And I was shooting people upstairs.
If
There
you're-
wasn't enough
if you're
space.
talking about a 40th anniversary on a beautiful day, and I made it sure that we've got a beautiful
You
day.
did do that.
And you didn't have as many people
Really?
last year or the year before.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed.
Well, I think you outdid yourself. You made the day so beautiful that people had other events.
Yeah.
How
Okay,
do we know how many people
I'll
come?
accept that.
But nice work, Keith.
Is there a way to know how many people attend?
Yeah, we do keep track of the name badges that people create. Not that everyone creates them, but yeah, we're under 200 people.
Mhm.
And I believe the last 2 years, we were right at 200 or just over 200. So we definitely had less people, but I think there was less kids
Yeah, I was
because
gonna
it
say
was
there
the
was fewer
40th
kids
and
then.
everyone's wearing suits and stuff. And the fact that we have speeches means everyone wants to be there right at the same time. So
Yes,
if
that's why I
at
felt
that
crowded.
2 o'clock hour, it felt pretty crowded in there.
Yeah, I had the same.
So I don't think we need to try to always outdo ourselves from the previous year, Keith, because
200 is a lot of people.
yeah,
100 and whatever is a great
Love the
showing.
live music.
huge, great
That
show.
was a win, although we've had live music in the past.
Chevy Chase Arts Academy is the best. They're
Is that-
so
Yeah,
nice.
that
Is that who does it?
That's the owner of Chevy Chase Arts Academy.
I
He's
missed that, I can't-
And I thought that the trivia went well, so maybe we add that as like a normal thing.
We
in
need
future
simpler
events.
questions.
Right,
easier
I didn't know
questions.
anything.
That was another thing I was disappointed in.
Who won the trivia? Did somebody
So
win?
I think
No,
honestly
no.
Jean won
No,
it.
I made up the
Uh,
trivia.
I think Jean's team won it. They just made one mistake and there's some debate about that, the name of the supermarket.
Some
They said
debate.
Safeway.
There's a little bit of controversy.
Oh my
So
gosh.
Well, that was correct.
I'm gonna let you debate that
yeah.
with Jean. I'm not.
I don't know.
There was no
Saying
debate
that
because I'm the expert. It was the Safeway and the
final
other store
judge,
was
the
the
final arbiter.
grocery store,
May-
DGS.
So maybe next year we could do something where, like something where people actually have to speak to one another
Yeah,
and
because that was the
go.
goal.
like
I
maybe
thought it was gonna be
like
an
a little,
oral trivia quiz.
Kind of like
but-
find somebody who, lives on your street.
Oh,
you
that's a
know,
great
that
idea.
Kind of thing,
Yeah.
to just kind of get people to chat. We'll have a trivia that's slightly easier, because I think a lot of people said, well, it was just too hard for us. So maybe it was, but I thought it was great to have it. It was
Yeah.
nice, a
Some
really
kind of
nice idea,
Activity.
addition to the. And you're sitting down, especially if you're sitting down at a table and you're waiting for people, it's something to do. So
Yeah.
that was nice too.
Yeah.
to
Were
have
there,
that
there any
table.
issues, people, anything get broken or like is?
No, honestly, La Firme does an incredible job and they make it really
Well, we're
easy on
good.
us.
No,
They
next year
do,
we'll
they
come
take care
up
of all of it. It's,
You just pay and they.
we just pay them, yeah. And I paid and there's a tip included and I tipped extra and make sure to take care of them because they're an incredible partner of us, for sure. I do think the trivia, we could have organized it a little bit better, but there's just so much going on in the
It was the
moment
first
and there's
time.
speeches and
Right.
stuff.
It was the first time.
I think we got about
Slideshow.
15 people that filled them out and a lot of people didn't know and just left, half the questions blank.
That was us.
So it didn't really work, I don't think. If you had a host that was actually hosting the trivia and reading off the questions
Yeah.
and people were sitting at the tables and that's all they were
That's what
doing,
I
I
thought
think
we
you
were
could do a
For
real
future
trivia.
events, when it's not being conflated with speeches and stuff like that. I
And
think
that's one thing you
probably,
could do. You could ask the question and say, talk amongst yourselves, and then pick a person who gets up and
We'll do a
says the
Panama
answer,
quiz the
and
next
then you
time.
can tell what was right, and then.
Yeah, right,
Something
right,
that gets people. Anyway,
Maybe you
Um,
can then see it. Next year, you're really good.
Oh,
So-
you like
keep the
that.
Microphone.
So great event. Clearly, it's something that's a favorite of the community. A lot of people show up and so
Yeah.
for the future. Let's talk about the
The most attended event.
the election event, the election sidewalk event.
And that's usually.
Yeah, so I can jump into that. So first, actually, there's a shred event that we just scheduled with the neighboring municipalities. I just want to make sure you're all aware of that. That is going to be on May 4th from 9 to noon on the side of Brookville Market. I've already told the Joe at the farm, at the market. And that is with Chevy Chase Section 3, who has a new manager who's just starting this month. And then Chevy Chase Section 5, who has a new manager that just started. Her name is Rachel, my kind of colleague
Yeah.
pier. And
Well, so now you're the graying veteran in the.
that's true, yeah. I have noticed some grays. coming.
Nothing
Yeah.
to do with
This
that.
place will give it to you, that's right.
And it's also with Rolling Wood.
Oh, nice.
So that's really nice to be able to include a couple events with Rolling Wood. Rolling Wood always wants to participate in our events, and they don't have any money. So events like the movie nights where it doesn't matter, like a train, it doesn't matter if
Yeah.
2 people get on or 100 people get on, we can invite those to those
Yeah.
events. But for where we have lots of food trucks and stuff that we're paying for, we try to limit them.
And
many-
you
how
raise
many
a good point, because, yeah, the Rolling Wood chair or board members have reached out to me and asked about collabs, and that's the thing, like, they asked on Halloween, we had already had our, contract signed, I said, we have a kind of a head count, and Rolling was about quadruple the size that
Oh.
we are,
Oh,
so,
they are.
yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
know that.
so.
They're not gonna pay for the food.
Well, it's just,
I
they,
didn't-
they,
I thought
they
they were
want
smaller,
to, do more with all of the municipalities, but we're their closest,
Right. and then the
Neighbor.
Park and.
and we share the park. So the movie nights, the last one, the Barbie movie, I think there was just as many Rolling Wood people as
Yeah.
there were. It was nice. It was a good, but popcorn, that's like a low,
Yeah.
We run out of popcorn, who
Expense.
cares?
Yeah.
right.
Well, I care.
But like when we're talking
You get
food
more.
trucks and people, that means longer lines and more people. So I'm all for being neighborly, but it's just something we need to, consider, because they are a lot bigger than we are.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
summer movie nights are easy because we've got a
Yeah,
large
and-
field and
Yeah,
it's
plenty
fun.
of
So
seating.
And the shred event, they're happy to
Same thing,
participate in
yeah.
that. And it's not that, it's like $1,000 for us to rent that truck for the 3 hours, and we just split it between the 4.
yeah.
And
So
that's
what is the
neighborhood.
actual event? It's a truck that shows up where?
It shows up, we park them on the
Right on the
side,
side.
and all the managers will be out there directing traffic and picking boxes of people's tax stuff, and we shred it.
It's
I've
like an
never.
Iron Mountain truck or
We
something.
do it
like
every
that.
year. Yeah,
Year?
they have a
I've
couple
never
companies
been
You
to
that
just
do
bring
it.
it in a box that, yeah.
Whatever you want
we're
shredded.
and
Yeah,
then-
shredded on site.
But here,
Yeah.
in the parking lot.
In the
okay.
parking
Right here.
on the side of the market.
It's
Yep.
a nice
Never
service.
done it, but I've seen them.
So if you have some secret documents you want to get rid of, now's the time.
It's just a
Oh,
great
yeah.
spring
Some people
cleaning
have,
thing.
some people have entire archives they're
I've
shredding.
seen
So
people show up like with
Mhm.
trunks full of stuff. I'm like, what are you doing?
there is a county service that's available year round, where so
Yeah.
people can drive to Rockville and do
Quite a
that if
long
they
way
want.
away.
But
Well, it used to be you had to keep hard copies of your taxes, but now do you have to keep hard copies? We don't.
I'm not gonna give you a tax advice.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, just throw it away.
Yeah, exactly.
Sunday, right?
That's on Sunday, and then Saturday the 3rd as well is the Bulldog 5K, which they kind of pin our neighborhood in and close
Yeah.
down. I get like 15 complaints
Yes,
every single
I know.
time, so
Bulldog 5K.
because of the route.
I know.
Yeah, it's in the morning, and they say they have flaggers out there that'll let you through
It's
if you need to
usually
get
done
out.
by 10 a.m. They start at like 8 and it's a 5K.
So what day is our election?
And then, yeah, so this is what we're getting
Week.
to. May 6th is the election and the celebration on the sidewalk. That event, historically, we have had a whole line of vendors set up, as you all know. And we have a list of the people that we invited last year. So I put together a spreadsheet and I can send this around. I invited all the vendors, like the food trucks, ice cream truck, those types of things.
Mhm.
And then I asked this committee to be the one responsible for inviting all of the artists. So all the people in the neighborhood that have something to present. There's a couple authors, there's a couple, anybody. If we want to include new people, that would be great.
Bernice has already said yes, you can put it down.
And Bernice is the best, so.
Yes.
Great. And then we had music there. We invited, the market, the Olympia Cafe provided some sandwiches. We set up a couple tables of food, that kind
We
of
had the
thing.
library last year. Phil
I think we
Haas
had the
to
library
manage
was
that
nice.
relationship.
Mhm.
And then
Chevy
you
Chase
reached
at
out
Home.
to the utilities.
Chevy Chase at
right?
home.
Yeah.
all of
Chevy Chase at
those.
Home. We didn't get a response from the Chevy Chase Historical Society, so if any of you newbies have a good relationship and would like
We can see what we can do.
reach
yep.
out, that would be great.
What time is celebration on the sidewalk? 5:30 or something? Or maybe it's earlier.
I have the poster. This is what the poster looks like, and it was from 5 to 8.
5 to 8.
Last year it was May 7th. This year it's May 6th.
Okay.
Ice cream truck, the barber shop was giving discounts. I don't know. I don't think it really worked because they close at 6 or something. And,
Yeah.
5 to 8, you said?
5 to 8 that's what it was last year. So I don't want to speak for the, well, and our event can go longer than the election if the election shut down or something. I don't know. Yep.
Okay. Awesome.
And we have a budget for all of these events.
That's
Like,
a Tuesday.
we're totally fine on the budget. Do we want to up the food offering on that? I know that we always get ice cream, but I don't remember other.
Yeah, we haven't done food. I was stressing making popcorn last year. That didn't work very well. So I won't be doing that this year. And it's the same thing with providing drinks at the different events. When I'm dragging the coolers and running to Safeway to buy tons of waters, it's just always been a hectic thing. So we've kind of said, we're just gonna pay a vendor to do it.
Yeah.
So-
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Either- one year, I
absolutely.
think either Joe or Olympia Cafe provided wraps.
Yes. Olympia Cafe has provided stuff and Brookville Market too has provided stuff. So yeah, no, that's good. And we could, add a food truck. We're coming up, we're just over a month away now. So
I
month and a half away.
I think if you're doing it on the street, it's really nice to continue the tradition of asking the vendors on the street. rather
Oh.
than
Right, but they
bringing
don't
in
provide meals
competition.
for everybody. They're
Right.
providing
Well, then
dinner.
can we pay
That's
them
what
to
she said.
provide
Yeah,
more
I mean, in
food?
the past we have, so
We pay
like, it would
the,
be weird to have it right in front of their shop, blocking the access and then getting food from someone else. I
Okay,
think that
you're
would
right.
not be very.
But can we
nice.
pay
There are some
the
sensitivities
grocery
around that.
store to provide more dinner food? Like, I know that they always run out. So
Mhm.
whatever we've been asking them to do, maybe we can pay them more.
But
and
Olympia's
more.
not open then.
They're not,
They
yeah.
stay
They
open.
stay open and then they make, a bunch of plates and put trays of food out on a table. That's what they do, or what they have done in the past, yeah. We could ask for more, yeah.
What's our budget for this event?
So we haven't really broken down. I can tell you, I could look up what we spent
Fine.
last year,
Um,
but we haven't really broken down our budget based on, this event gets this much. We just know what the full year amount is.
The thing is that people, I mean, my sense is that, please correct me, is that people come for the event, not for the food.
I know, but it's like
So-
dinner time, and though we're always rushing around. I know in the past we've like wished we could just grab a bite while there, and maybe we have at Olympia, I don't remember.
I usually go before or after dinner.
Yeah, I mean, it's long enough.
Like
that- that's true.
I go for before 20 minutes.
Maybe we
Not
had to
like-
go and then go somewhere else. Maybe that was the issue.
Because it's quite a big logistical event.
Yeah.
Because you have to set up the tables, you have to make sure that all the people who are arriving are greeted and have a plate,
Right.
taken
And
care
every
of.
single vendor is another,
Right.
thing you have to coordinate and pay and, deal with all those
Yeah.
relationships and stuff.
Right,
So
and you can't do it all.
Are
So
we
then
gonna
we're all-
have a good humor man again? AJ?
Ice cream.
Yeah, we'll get an ice cream truck. I don't know if it'll be AJ or the other guy.
You like the other guy more.
Well, AJ just messed up a couple
Yeah, I
times in a
know.
row, so yeah, we kind of went away from him, but
You
we could
would.
go back to him, yeah,
You wanna give another chance.
as long as he shows up in a truck that actually works.
What happened? I don't know.
Well, he just shows up in like a rental truck that we have to run an extension cord to a cooler, and then he only had, we asked for a couple things particular. We're like, can we have your full menu plus a couple things? But then he only showed up with like the one thing that we asked for. It's like, no, we need the whole, like,
Okay, that sounds like.
yeah, so we've had a couple bad
Let's
experiences,
get a
but
guy.
he, I mean, the lovely, family and guy and
Oh.
had good relationships. So it was a little, that was a hard one.
That
but-
is the May event.
So wait a minute,
Um,
before you go on, last time you needed a lot of help from us, committee.
I did.
recall.
I'll volunteer to reach out to the artists because I already have their emails
Awesome.
and the relationship, so.
Okay.
Is
Um,
Is there
I'll
anything else
reach
you
out
need us
to
to do?
the artists who are on that list. If there's anyone, if you can share that list, Michael. and
I
if
will.
there are Any artists, because I'm gonna ask them, do you know anyone in the community who we could also invite? But if there's anyone that you guys know who you'd like to add to the list, please.
Well,
be
what I
great.
have
You know,
is,
the more the merrier.
so you guys got Art Walk.
Yeah.
I have the
yeah.
list and there are quite a few people in that Art Walk
Will you
that are
send
in our
that list
neighborhood.
to
Yeah,
me?
I need to track it down, but I
Okay.
know I have it somewhere.
That are in Martin's Editions.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, and
great.
it
There was
may
3 on my
overlap.
street I didn't even know about.
Yeah,
So I went on
and
the Art Walk.
Right, they may or
Yeah.
may not overlap, so let's see.
I think more artists, the better. Let's make it a whole craft fair. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Does somebody want to reach out to the library and the historic, might as well try the Historic Society again.
I'll reach out to them as well. Since I can do that.
Sure.
And then,
Be very persuasive.
And did we have the capital
I'll try.
people last time?
Yeah, we invited the utility companies. Having a contact for who the utility people are is always tricky. Even finding out when they're gonna fill a pothole is, have to call everybody and jump around. But we did have, I think, WSSC was at least there tabling, and they were giving out the little stress toilets,
Yeah, the kids love that.
which was pretty funny.
The kids really like that.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
So Brookville Market, Barber Shop, Chevy Chase Arts Academy, the Montgomery County Police Officers, which we don't currently have right now, Olympia Cafe, Good Humor Ice Cream Company, Chevy Chase Historical Society was invited last year as well. Chevy Chase at Home, Chevy Chase Library, and then all the artists, Washington Gas, Pepco, WSSC, Montgomery County Council members. That's the VIPs if they want to come and shake hands. And
Michael, you mentioned the Montgomery County police officers that we don't have right now.
that's correct, yeah.
What does that mean?
Nick and Mike are two police officers that have been with the village for 12 years or something like that. Both of them resigned. So we are currently without off-duty police
Why is
officers.
that? I didn't know about that.
Oh, yeah, no, I've announced it at the
We
last
talked
council
at
meeting.
the last
Um,
meet, yeah.
I must have missed that part.
Oh, okay.
That's.
Yeah.
At the last.
Why would they
council
both
meeting.
resign at the same time?
I think they're both overworked at the county or something.
I see, okay.
so they were
Are we
just-
looking for, we're gonna. try
Yeah,
to-
we're reevaluating the situation and figuring out, and I've already been interviewing people and stuff, so we're gonna see what we're gonna do with that
You
program.
want to do that through Montgomery County Police, or do you want to get some private security like Securitas to do it?
That's a great question, but probably not for this conversation. Yeah, let's talk about that
Understood.
offline, yeah.
Okay.
And
That's just,
that's a personnel matter, so the council needs to kind of make those decisions. So
that'll be Katie's one of the
And
last decisions.
the last one is the Manna Food, Linda with the Manna Food.
Yes,
um,
yeah.
I'll reach out to Linda.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She, she's fantastic. I can't believe the amount of food she has donated to Manna Food. That's something I would like to support in any way we can, so.
And we're gonna, and Marty's out, or someone from the election
And
committee is
that-
there, right?
just-
We're
Well,
voting.
So this, I'll just, and Marty didn't join, okay.
Yep.
So this is sort of a, I guess, an tandem event. So the election committee and their blue box will be over there. And it's kind of, historically, it stems from election day. People used to come to the silos to vote. Now they just drop off their mail-in ballot, and they're gonna be like quartered off to there, and I'm sure they'll have like a no electioneering zone and all that. But the rest of the sidewalk is as you all, and you are, free to get as creative and, so it's, it's really a joint
Okay.
event,
Even though we
but
called the election.
well,
but we now changed it to
so the
sidewalk.
flyers and all of that, that's something we should probably sort out
Yeah.
sooner rather than later,
Yeah.
because
It's always been called the celebration on the sidewalk. The
definitely.
election committee got
Oh.
mad last year because they felt like they weren't mentioned in the original flyer. So we changed the flyer to say Village of Martin's Additions 2024 Election Day Celebration on the Sidewalk. So that was
I
the,
think that's fine.
so we'll
Yeah.
probably just do that again.
Original.
Yeah.
That
That's
was,
what I remember
that's
voting.
why we
That's what we're
organized this
celebrating.
event.
Right.
It was because of the election.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we
Yes,
want people
yeah.
to vote.
Yes.
And no one was intentionally leaving them out. They
No,
just felt
no,
that way.
not at all, not at all. But yeah, so, there'll probably be some input from the election committee down the
Yeah.
road. But, yes, and they'd like to, collaborate on the flyer, and there's some back and forth. So we'll get everybody that heads up. That's all.
Yeah. So we'll do that again and make sure they're okay with that.
If I can just put my stormwater cap on for a moment, it'd be really nice to reach out to the Rainscapes people and see if they would do a demonstration or be there if anyone has questions about Rainscape grants or anything like that from the county.
I wonder if that might be an Arbor Day.
Yeah,
event. It might be hard to orchestrate that in front or somewhere nearby with everything else that's going on.
You think it's too much? I was
It
just
might
thinking a
be.
little.
I think it's a
table,
great idea to
information.
do
It's a
it.
great idea,
Yeah.
yeah. But maybe we do that for
Reserve it for
Arbor
another day? A whole
Yeah.
so Arbor Day is April 2nd.
Yeah.
And we normally do a walk. I've already talked to Paula Goldberg, the tree
Yeah.
supervisor, about, organizing a little walk on that Friday. So that would be April 4th. And we were thinking about what to do. I was even thinking of having someone talk about some, companion planting with trees or something related to
That
trees.
would be really nice.
So maybe that would be an opportunity to do that.
So
Yeah.
let's talk separately.
Let's talk. Yeah. Okay. That's good. Yep.
That's great.
I love landscapes. So.
I would like to put in landscape, so I would be interested, yeah.
So that's that event. Is there any questions on what needs to happen? I'll send out the list of, who to invite, and we'll also have a vendor dropping off and setting up tables and chairs so that we don't have to do that either. So one of the questions we'll need is whether the artists need a table. Always trying to figure out how many artists and how many people are coming is always kind of a thing. We have a couple tables, but not, 15 tables. Last year, we just had everyone share and it was fine.
All right, everyone, the next thing on the agenda is public comments, and since Marty's not here, I move that we adjourn the meeting.
I actually have a question. The summer movie events, the two that we have, the vendor, they always show up with like this generator to power everything, and it's super loud. Like you can't hear the movie over the generator. Do they have like one of those like Jackery, like battery things that
I don't know. I can ask. The other thing,
I mean, I have
they
one I
always-
can loan them. It literally backs
Well,
up my house when the power goes out, and it's this big.
I love those.
So it clearly it would serve that purpose, but every time I show up, I'm like,
It's a
my God, I can't hear the
portable-
movie.
Portable generator.
It's just a big battery is basically what it is, but
We
it-
also
it
have a
sounds
situation where a resident in Rollingwood comes over and complains that the sound is too loud. So we actually turn down the sound every single year this happens. So we're actually turning down the sound of the movie, not up. So it doesn't really.
Actually, direct. I didn't know
Can we
about that.
just give them a bottle of wine with an
I know.
invitation and say,
Come and
you
enjoy it.
know.
I mean, I'm hoping their
Join
kids a
us,
couple years
we'll
older
come-
and maybe it's still.
Here's a restaurant, coupon.
Right, go out to
for
dinner, right. That would be a good investment, $100 to send them out to dinner.
Yeah, that night.
Then
I
next
heard
year,
a movie.
Yeah,
everybody
that
was
night.
complaining.
You have to go that night.
I understand, but I think we could ask that vendor if
That's
they
a good
have
point.
I'll
something. If
complain.
they don't,
Four hundred yards away.
I just don't know if it powers that for, 3 hours or whatever.
Yeah,
But
I would need to know what the power requirements are to make sure that
Yeah.
everything would do it, but.
After the election event, not the election, the sidewalk event, the only other standing event is the 4th of July.
4th of July party,
We've got
which
a ways.
which is happening on June 29th, which is a Saturday, that's a Sunday, the Sunday before the 4th of July is what we always do. So that'll be kind of the last big hurrah of this event. We're already starting to apply for Montgomery County permit to have that place. And the council asked me, and I'm sure some people are happy about this, to reintroduce alcohol to this event specifically, because we've gotten a lot of people asking for alcohol at this event. So we're gonna try to figure out how to make that happen.
I did
in a-
notice the
in a-
beer cooler was missing last year.
Actually, since I've been here, we haven't done alcohol at this event, because I heard right away some people complaining the other way, so,
Right.
but this is local government 101.
I thought it was the liability of how do you make sure. teams aren't drinking.
That's what they said.
Well, that's my complaint, so, I'm not
We
gonna
could
be.
get a food truck like vendor that just does nothing but beers or something like
And
that.
then they get
I've-
IDs,
yeah.
that's better.
I'll
Then
be-
you can't steal them.
I'll be looking into options and
That's a good
whether
one.
I assign someone to kind of monitor the beer cooler or whether I hire a vendor to have a beer cooler.
Yeah.
We can do a little garden, tape it off.
Yeah.
That's a
Beer-
good
The
idea.
beer, the beer tent, the beer.
So which event is this?
This is the 4th of July.
That would be a really fun event.
Yeah, that would be. Then you'd
You
have
could
adults mingling.
non-alcoholic
If you
beers
have
as
a-
well, to have a beer garden one year.
Yeah, that's a nice idea.
Um,
Adult beer garden.
I own Lederhosen, so
You'll be serving.
I'm just saying.
Oh, okay, all right.
I think
Wow.
that's.
Wow.
And next we'll have an Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you could say,
Super
have
fun.
free beer for those wearing.
Oh, boy.
German food or something. That would be fun. German food.
It's free anyway.
And I will say, like, the alcohol happens either way. There are residents bringing coolers and drinking alcohol on the side, so it just kind of has been unsanctioned, so
Yeah.
figuring out a way to do it in a inclusive way was the goal, so.
One thought, I've always had this, movie night, the people who supply the screen and generator and whatever, I think they also supply free popcorn, but the popcorn sucks. Can we up it and get you one of those popcorn vendors who make the popcorn in front of you? You know, the good kettle corn, you know what I'm talking about? That you see at farmers markets or fairs. I don't think it'd be that much more money and it would.
If you
be
want to
good
send me a
and
vendor that you're aware of, I'm happy to look into
like at
getting a
farmers
separate
markets,
vendor.
they used to make it in front of you. Now I think they just put it in their bags, but
There's a
it's way
food-
better.
There's a food truck for everything. I'm sure there's a
Right.
popcorn food
All
All
truck.
right, I will send you information about from movie night to up.
But you know, if
Increase-
you're doing it for like 30 people who turn up at movie night. I mean,
Well,
I would say don't
but
go
we
over
had
the top.
100 people the first year. I mean, don't you think we had 100 people that first year?
Oh, when you, yeah, you
The
know,
very
you're on
first one.
Montgomery Municipal Cable
I am?
hosting that. Yeah, you're front and center that first.
I
movie
am.
night, Yeah.
I never knew that. I do know they
I didn't know
interviewed,
there was such
they
thing as
interviewed a group of boys. My son was probably 8 at
Yeah.
the time and a group of girls. And then they didn't use the boys because the boys were poking each other and goofing around.
Yes.
And the girls answered all the questions
They
that they
did.
asked. So
My
they
daughters
used the
are on
girls.
there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And my son was like, how come they didn't use us? I'm like, because you guys were goofing around. It was,
But
he
it's
was 8
all
at the
there.
time.
If you ever go to YouTube, you just look up Village of Mars Edition
Really?
or Montgomery Municipal Cable and you
She's
can
all excited.
find
She's gonna
all.
see her kids young.
Wait,
can
I'm
find
gonna,
all
I
of
want to see this. What is it? What
All
do I
right,
do?
we're
go to
adjourning. You guys can
Facebook.
look
I mean,
at
I'm
it,
sorry.
all right?
YouTube, YouTube, yeah.
I gotta see this.
Anything else?
That's it. Well, I'm sure you all will meet again before that June event,
First of all,
so.
let me thank
We have a
everybody
YouTube
here.
channel.
Oh,
And then
Yeah. 2 weeks ago, Sunday, a week
pop
ago.
up there, it'll or a pop up
Outstanding
on
job.
the-
Yes,
Just,
Rena.
you always email a few weeks before and say, when's the next meeting? So can we agree while we're all here, when's the next meeting?
Okay, and then you have to go.
Yeah.
We always are like, when's that next meeting?
There it is.
So let's
Like,
see.
please send me the agenda.
You got it.
There,
What's the
and
agenda?
then shorter, curlier hair, looks
Michael,
cute.
let's do
Okay.
that in April.
Yeah,
We'll do
this
that
is
next
that,
month,
and they
okay?
do.
Do what?
Meeting, another meeting.
and so
Yeah,
they
yeah,
start with
so,
this-
Let's see.
Tuesday.
We could do
the
the
boys didn't
14th.
make it, right?
Yeah, no, the
Day
boys.
before
Oh, it was the
they're-
Princess
those are my
Bride?
daughters.
Let's
Oh,
try to see if
really?
everybody's good for that date.
Give me the.
Wait, I don't remember it was the Princess
I'll be the
Bride.
first
The
one
only
to
ones
say
still
that.
So
in
it wasn't
date
Back
works
to the
for me.
Future, or
That
this
was the
wasn't the
next
first
one.
year.
Do
Oh.
your own taxes, or you, the
Oh.
13th of problem for you?
You know what? Can you believe that this is the first year ever that I've looked for somebody to make my income tax out? The two
Good
people-
year for you, was it Keith then?
So if you know of anybody.
Mr.
there
Money,
you are.
we're sorry. So does the 14th,
14th.
Pull it up on the big screen at home, you can show.
Yeah.
does the 14th work for you? April 14th?
April 14th.
April 14th.
That's a Monday.
It's a Monday?
Wow, we're already into April 14th.
It works for us, yes.
Yes, it's that they do it, so.
Sure.
It's a Monday?
Yeah.
They just felt I was paying too much money to the guy. He used to
No,
work
wait,
with the
mine's,
two
it's
first
our spring break.
people, the first and
Oh,
second
yeah,
person
that's-
So
I've
I'm
ever
gone,
had
well,
do it.
I might be here
Both
still on the
work for
14th, it's
IRS.
possible. So don't go by me
They
because
both
I'm
work
gone
for
that,
IRS.
I'm
I
gone
can
for
always
11
zoom
days.
it, I can zoom
I'm
it.
potentially gone
Never been
every
on it.
11
I mean,
days.
they were great.
If
But I
it wor-
won't
if
be.
it works for
So
everybody else.
we'll do the
Yeah.
14th.
Okay, man, I'm out of here. Good to see you.
Thanks,
Thanks, everybody. Nice to see you.
You too.
Oh, you didn't take the Irish cookie.
Oh, I did. I had like 5. At this point, I'm like,
Wait a minute, today isn't St. Patrick's Day.
didn't realize I'm not 14 anymore. I can't eat cookies.
Okay, are we adjourned?
I
We're
like the
adjourned.
green, though.
Okay,
Thanks,
good
everybody.
night, everyone.
Katie, can I take